Okay, so anyways, my name is Summer Lehman. I'm a gold ambassador here at Q Sciences. This is Katie Tufte. She is going to be doing this call on social media.
Hang on, I can't hear you.
So I am going to hand it over to her. And if
you said your wall.
There we go. All right, cool. I'm in charge of the mute button there, Katie. So it's all you, sister. Take it away.
Will you make me co-host so I can share my slides?
Yes, I will.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. I love seeing so many faces on here. I just want to preface this that when Summer asked me to do this, first of all, I was so flattered because being asked to train somebody's team is just such an honor. But I told her, I'm like, social media is such a huge topic to try to narrow it down to 30 minutes really is hard, and it's not realistic. So what I decided to do is, whoever that was, what I decided to do was focus on more of like back to basics, right? Whether it's our own social media or whether we're bringing in new ambassadors, kind of starting from the basics is so important. So I did create some slides to kind of keep me on track. So I'm going to share my screen here with you guys. And basically, like I said, this is going to be just the basics. I'm not going to do a deep dive. If you guys have specific questions, please feel free to always message me. I love talking social media, so I'm always here to have those conversations, and I get questions all the time. So one thing that I do like to say, because I know that social media can be very overwhelming, is don't feel like you have to master all the different platforms that are out there. You know, there's so many different social media platforms that really, where do you feel comfortable? For me right now, I pretty much live on Instagram. What you see of mine on Facebook is really what's just pushed over from Instagram. But if you are on Facebook and that's where you feel comfortable and that's where you're thriving, then that's where you should continue to stay and grow. Don't feel like you have to jump over to Instagram or, you know, any of the other trendy platforms just because that's what people are doing right now. If anything, continue to grow where you do feel comfortable and maybe start slowly growing those other platforms if you choose to do it. But the whole point is, the goal here is to try to get people to stop their scroll, because so much stuff is thrown at us every single second that we're on social media. So how do we not blend in with the crowd? So what do people actually want to see? There's this really famous quote, right? All things equal, people will do business with and refer business to people that they know, trust, and like. And so I always tell people outside of Q, right? Think of 2 or 3 things that you enjoy, that you want to talk about, that you want to share about, that's not Q. And honestly, when I first started, I had to think about something outside of my kids too, because the reality is not everybody cares about my kids and not everybody cares about my business. So what else could I add value to that would make people want to continue to come back to my page, that would make people want to see what I was sharing about? And for me, if you do follow me, you know that I really have tapped into the mom humor, trying to make people laugh, trying to entertain people. That is kind of my niche where I have found a following. I wasn't some big Instagram or even social media person when I first started here. I think I had maybe 800 friends, which I know that's still a lot, but compared to some people, it wasn't, or it's not. And I think now I have almost 6,000 friends, which is great, but I've done it all organically, and I've done it through just sharing things that I already enjoy and things that make me laugh and that make me smile. And I feel like people get that sense of who I am. And I will tell you, when I first started, I had never even posted a selfie of myself because I was like, who does that? It feels weird, right? But people want to know who you are. They want to know your personality. So as awkward as it might feel, I really, really encourage you guys to talk and talk. If you're not going to do a live, if that's too scary for you, even talking in your stories is really easy because they're really short. They're minute segment. So pick something, pick a topic, pick something that just happened, and you can do captions, you can do the polls or the slide bars, something to engage your audience. And I feel like people really start to get a sense of your personality and who you are. And that's where I've really been able to grow relationships with people on social media, is by actually talking on social media, because they want to see that you're honest, that you're friendly, that you're helpful, that you're funny. And if you've ever listened to one of Fran's trainings too, she also encourages us to not be controversial, although, it's our pages. So I say do whatever you want with that. Okay, take inventory of your page. This is one thing when I have new people start, I always take inventory of their page, because what happens when somebody messages you? What do? You go to their page, right? And you check them out and you see what's on their page. So I'm going to give you guys a couple examples. This is my mom, so I can use her. Okay, I love my mom, right? But if I were to get some message from somebody wanting to join my business and this was her profile, she doesn't give me any sort of vibe of leader, right? I don't really know much about her. She's a Pilates instructor. I can see where she lives and I can see that she's in love, clearly, right? This is it, right? This doesn't scream leader, somebody that I might want to really jump in with, right? Look at the second person. Okay, Summer, you guys, I love Summer's profile. Here is an amazing, beautiful photo of her family. Here's a gorgeous photo of her face. You can see who she is. I encourage all of you to have your profile picture be of you, not your dog, not some mountain, beautiful, pretty mountain range, but a picture of you, right? She also has an incredible bio that describes a little bit more about her. And then she has some characteristics and some things that describe, some of her accolades and her experiences. So love this. I think it's super clean, really pretty. And then of course, Fran, same thing, her bio's super clean. She actually has her link tree in there too. I know a lot of us, our link tree is down below in where the actual links are. So if you have enough characters, put it up top in the bio, you can. If not, there is a specific place for links. But I encourage you guys, if you haven't done a link tree, they're super, super simple. You can click on mine and see what I have. You can click on Fran's. A lot of the leaders have them, so you can kind of see what type of links people are putting out there. And if you are on Instagram, or if you thrive on YouTube or any of the other platforms, to also put links to those other pages, because what we have found, and just talking to other leaders here at Q, what they end up doing is I go, well, I'll just use Fran. How did you find Fran? What did she say to you? And they'll say, no, I actually just started stalking her page. And I started scrolling through and I was stalking what she was doing, right? So we need to take inventory of what is on our page, knowing that true leaders, people that we are trying to attract, they are going to be coming over and stalking our page and seeing what we're doing. So this is step one, not only for ourselves, whether you're brand new or you've been here for a while, I encourage you to go take inventory of your page. As you bring people in, I encourage you to take a look at their page with them as well. Next thing I love to do with people, you guys, the art of storytelling, this could quite possibly be our most powerful tool, especially right now in social media when so many people are selling or feeling like they're being sold to. If we can use the art of storytelling and testimonies, it is a way to captivate people and bring people in. So a lot of people, when they first start this business, they'll make some journey posts.
No, go ahead. I think you were here first.
But I think that it's really important for those of us who have even been here for a while to talk about what this business, this industry, how we're helping people, continue to take people along the journey with us. So your opening line, you guys, We need to captivate our audience. We need a power statement or even a question. Some examples. I couldn't
Enjoy
believe
those.
what I had just seen.
Both of them.
This opportunity is completely blowing me away. The mentorship, systems, and
Some
support is
taste. I'm like,
unmatched.
Is it?
A powerful and little known fact. Which is more important? Or I was shocked. These are really good examples of power statements that captivate people, because if you're anything like me, and I feel really bad, I don't read most people's posts. They're too long. I don't have time for it. Like, that's why I love stories, because people's posts are just, they're too long. But that's why if you have an opening line that brings people in with a power statement or a question, then that's what gets my attention. And that's when most of the time I'll keep reading, right? So again, take people along the journey with you. It doesn't need to be a book, and please don't make it a book, right? You can break it down into smaller parts to actually keep people coming back to hear more. So part 1, part 2, right? This is something that's been hard for me. Jake and I have actually talked about this in person when I was at Silver Summit this summer, but being vulnerable, because that is what is relatable. Social media is very much a highlight reel. We all know that, we talk about it all the time. And that's why we do have to share our stories and talk about more vulnerable sides of what we're going through or what we're experiencing. And I'm not saying air your dirty laundry if you don't want to. I'm not an air my dirty laundry type of person, but I am a open book as far as I'm going through hard times. I've been through hard times. This is what it's shown me. This is what I have learned. I'm not perfect by any means. And I like to be able to connect with people on that regard, whether it's personal growth, whether it's health, whether it's the natural ebbs and flows of our business, right? I think that's relatable to a lot of people in the industry. It's not just some crazy uphill jump all the time. You know, we have just these natural ebbs and flows, and talking about that is really relatable to a lot of people. So then in closing, I've noticed that so many people are very self-centered when they are doing their closing, where I have kind of made this shift where I tend to focus more on the audience and how I can serve who I'm talking to. So a couple examples. If we are me focused, it would be something along the lines of, I am so excited to now have more time freedom to be with my kids and make money from my phone, right? We've all heard stuff like that. People probably read it and they're like, great, Katie, like, wow, now you have more money and you get to be with your kids. Like, that's great, right? But if you make it more about your audience and you show some vulnerability, so I understand what it feels like to struggle leaving the house every day to go to work, to an unfulfilling job. I'm forever grateful to now be able to show others there are more options. I mean, that right there, people are like, oh my gosh, she understands me. She gets me. That is what I'm going through. Like, we need to try a little bit harder to pull on like the true emotions that we're feeling. Like, I literally get goosebumps even just reading that, because I've had that conversation with so many people, you know? So audience focus, how can we serve people? I think that will resonate with so many more people than only talking about what we've personally accomplished. Whenever we are making posts, whether it's in our stories or whether it's in our news feed, we need to think, how can we attract leaders? So we need to be talking about people winning. You guys, the fact that here at Q, people are constantly winning, it is not normal. This doesn't happen all of the time, and we need to be sharing it. Even if it's not on your immediate team, it doesn't matter. Who doesn't love being shouted out when they rank up, or when they, you know, whatever. If someone were to share a rank up graphic of me, I'd be like, oh my gosh, thank you. That's amazing, right? Shout people out. People want to join teams and join companies where people are winning, and people are winning here at Q. It's something that's so fun to be a part of. Being part of a community, you guys, stuff like this. holding calls where all of us are getting together and sharing this. We need to talk about it. Anytime you guys are all on calls, I encourage you to snap pictures, share it on social media, tag people. Then it's really easy because then we can all just share each other's posts and try to get creative about it, right? Because we all see people posting that people are on Zooms, right? That's nothing new, nothing exciting. But what makes this different, right? Top leaders in the company training teams on social media. You get social media training from top leaders in the company when you join this team. That's exciting and that's unique. That doesn't always happen. So elaborate a little bit more on what's happening here. The edge of timing. We've all heard about the S curve, even just posting that graphic. You don't even need to really explain it. The graphic alone is an incredible representation of the timing that we have here. And timing doesn't last forever, so we need to be taking advantage of it, right? The compensation plan, it's amazing. We all know that. Top earners working with all levels on the team. One of the ambassadors on my team, she shared a post rather, and she was saying one of the first companies she was with, she had to pay $15 just to have a conversation with one of the top leaders in her company. That literally blew my mind. I was like, wait, what? You have to pay to talk to the top leaders on your team? Where here we get poured into daily by Fran and Tara and Kristen Wyatt and all these people, Jake. I mean, what president of the company does calls and pours into the field like Jake does? It's incredible. So talk about that kind of stuff. Corporate collaboration, the fact that corporate loves to collaborate with us, that we get to try out products, that they want our feedback on how things taste, the consistency, the all of the things, right? That we get to help be beta testers for these products. That is also something that does not happen with most other companies. Talk about it. I can't tell you how many other leaders have said, I couldn't help but notice how you guys were always talking about how you guys were able to test out new products. I never knew about new products launching until they were here. That is exciting. So how are you talking about the company that's going to attract other leaders? These are some tips for you guys as far as that I do. Again, I'm not the know-all of everything. These are just some things that have worked for me. Do what works for you. But I primarily use my stories for products, and I use my main page to talk about the business to attract leaders. Obviously, if there's big promos or I have autoimmune issues. So when I'm talking about my health journey, I will talk about products in my post. But for the most part, I like to keep products and stories and business in my main page. Let's get creative, you guys. Let's move away from stock photos and use photos of you, your family, your dog. It literally doesn't matter. But again, if we're trying to stop the scroll, and you have a stock photo of, say, the collagen or something, people are going to scroll right past that. And I have some examples of that here next. So, and let's try not to be salesy, because that's the thing, is people don't want to be sold to. So again, if we can approach it in a way of how can I serve you and how can I help you, and less of you're a sale to me, it comes across a lot more genuine. Okay. So I'm going to talk stories here, you guys. This is really embarrassing, but this is one of my first stories when I first started, right? How many of us have seen this? I thought I was being so cool too. Curious about all the products I've been talking about, but still on the fence. Like, I thought I was doing this attraction marketing. You guys, I had not a single person comment on this story. Everybody was like, scroll, next. Okay, don't be like Katie, don't do that. So I started to learn, I started to watch and see what people were doing, right? So I wanted to start truly creating curiosity. So problem solution. Anyone else's kids decide to not sleep last night? Okay, a lot of us here have kids and probably have experienced our kids not sleeping. So Let me know if you want to try a sample of this tasty afternoon pick-me-up and literally how I'm surviving the day. So that was my first slide. Then I added engagement. I used the same picture, but then I added a poll to it. Sure, I'll try. What is it? You guys, this lit my fire like you would not believe, because I probably had like 8 people reach out to me and go, what is that? What are you drinking? What does it taste like? My kids don't sleep ever. And you know what I never jumped in and said, it tastes like dragonberry and did this and did that, da, 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 da. I connected with them. Oh, I'm so sorry your kids aren't sleeping. I can relate. My kids are 4 and 5 and they still don't sleep. We have to connect with people on a personal level, right? Once you've made that connection, then I started talking about the products. You know, it just makes people feel like it's not just a sale. So, okay. I couldn't get the video to not show up first. Okay, I'm going to talk product post now, okay? Okay, hopefully you don't know these people. I should have crossed off their names. Okay, disregard, don't look at these names. Okay, if you are scrolling through your Instagram, right, would this picture of this make you want to stop and look at it, right? It's not creative at all. They just put a collage together of stock photos, right? I just want to show you guys examples of how this is super simple. I know we're all busy, but this is not stopping people's scroll. Okay, here's another one. Again, using the pretty flyer that corporate put out. It's amazing that corporate's doing these pretty flyers for us, but it's not stopping the scroll. I literally would just keep going. Okay, you guys, if you haven't been doing reels, this is your sign to start doing reels. This is literally how I've grown my following from less than 1,000 to almost 6,000 in the last year. My first reels were horrible. I'm not a dancer. I don't dance. If you guys ever see me start dancing, please message me immediately. But I will tell you that this is how I've been able to show my personality. This is how I've been able to actually engage with people. And you tell me which one catches your attention more. Okay, right. Could you guys hear that? Can you give me a thumbs up? Did you hear the music? No, maybe? No, you couldn't hear the music. Okay, sorry. Well, you can get the vibe then. If you couldn't hear the music, you could still see it was still, oh, Katarina's nodding her head at me. Thank you. So you can still get it though. It's captivating. It brings people in. Like, let's just try a little bit harder to be a little bit more captivating and be creative. And the beauty of reels and the beauty of video is you don't have to be unique. You literally can go, you find trending songs. So if you look at this video right here, you see at the bottom left that arrow sign that's pointing up. Do you guys see what I'm saying? So it's her name, Tiffany, and then win the best sale ever. And then it shows the music and there's a little arrow that's pointing straight up. That means it's a trending sound. So that sound is already being pushed out by Instagram. So when doing reels, I encourage you guys to use sounds that are trending because the algorithms are already pushing them out. It's such an amazing way to grow your audience, to be able to reach people that are not already following you. And the big thing is hashtags. So if you aren't using hashtags, how hashtags work is, my kids are screaming. If you aren't familiar with hashtags, basically we all follow hashtags that are things that interest us, right? So she's probably using hashtags that are like hair care and natural hair care, whatever it might be, but it's reaching this whole audience of people that are following those hashtags. And so when you don't use hashtags, the only people that's going to see your content are the people that are already following you or your current friend list, right? So it's the importance of using hashtags to actually get outside of your network, and that's how more people start following you. So video, hashtags, super important. Okay, so I have a couple challenges for you to wrap this up. Think about 2 or 3 pillars, as we already talked about. Think about 2 or 3 pillars that you're going to share about on social media. Don't think it's so much easier when you kind of solidify these in your mind, because for me, I know that every Monday I'm going to post about the same thing. On Tuesday, I'm going to post about the same category. Wednesday, I'm posting about the same category. So I know exactly what I'm doing. I should have brought it in here. I didn't. I apologize. I print out a blank calendar for the week and I plan out my week. So I know on Monday, it's going to be a business post. I know on Tuesday, it's going to be humor. I know on Wednesday, it's going to be about family, whatever it is. And that way, when I know just those categories, as I'm scrolling through social media and I'm relationship building and I'm doing all of the things, I'm intentional about looking for ideas, looking for whatever content that I know that I've planned out to post. And as soon as I have an idea, I write it down, because I feel like when we plan ahead for what we're going to post, it makes us not be so reactionary, right? Isn't it stressful when you feel like all you're doing is reacting to people all day long? All you're doing is reacting to messages that you're getting. So now when I have my posts already planned out for the week, I wake up, I already have it all written. I already have my videos created. I literally just post and I do my IP for that day. I already know what I'm going to do. And it just makes it so much less stressful. So especially if social media is overwhelming for you, if you plan it ahead, it just takes the pressure off of you. And if you want me to talk to you guys a little bit more about that, feel free to message me. I can do a little bit more of a deep dive. I encourage you guys to make your journey post. Talk about what brought you to Q. What has Q provided for your family? How many people have you been able to help since you've been with Q? That's a huge thing. You know, some of us might not think that we've done a whole lot, or maybe we're in a season where we might not be recruiting a whole lot right now. But you guys, there's so many people winning. And even if you're not personally doing it, there's people winning all around us. We need to talk about it, because I think we underestimate how much we're truly doing within our teams and within our organization. And how have you developed as a person? So these are all things that are great journey posts. It's something that I've been trying to work on at least every few weeks, make a post about what this opportunity has provided for me. And again, just continuing to take people along the journey with me. So, and again, start creating excitement around your team. What are you guys doing? Like I talked about, take pictures, tag your mentors, your friends. If you guys share people's reels or you share their quotes or their posts, tag them in it. Because if you share it, but you don't actually tag them, they don't know that you shared their content. So it's just another way to show that our team, that there's the community, that we're all loving on each other and we're here supporting each other. I think that that's really, really important. And that's pretty much all I have. I would love to answer any questions. I know I kind of flew through it, but again, I was trying to keep it basic for the back to basics type of social media. Summer, do you have any?
And you are incredible. I am just so blessed to be friends with you, girl. You know what the thing is like, I wouldn't have known you without Q. So I'm very thankful for Q. You know, and I don't know if anybody has questions. It might be, do you want to put it back to the normal screen so
Yeah.
you can share this?
Yes.
Because I can't really tell. There we go. Guys, does anybody have any questions? She's willing to answer a few questions. If anybody has anything, that's pretty cool. You can unmute yourself. We can all learn from everybody. Everybody's question will like help other people. Anyone? All right. Well, I'm not gonna beg you guys, but I will tell you
I have
that.
a question.
Yeah, awesome.
Where do you keep coming up with the ideas for the reels every day? Like I can think of Facebook Lives, I can think of posts, like, but just doing a different reel every day, like where do you come up with the ideas to do those?
Yes. So here's another hack for you guys. So every time I'm on social media, I am 100% being intentional with my time. I work, I have a 4 and a 5-year-old, you can hear screaming in the background. So I create folders in my Instagram. You can do this on Facebook too. But whenever I'm scrolling, looking through, and I see something that I'm like, oh, I love that sound bite. I could use it for whatever. I save it into a folder on Instagram. Do you know how to do that? Glenn, have you ever done a folder on Instagram? Are you on Instagram?
No, I am on Instagram, but I've never done a folder. And I did my first reel the other day.
Yay! I'm gonna go love on it. That's amazing. So
It was my daughter taking the Tiger Cup stuff. She's doing like some karate stuff, studying. I showed her making like 100 on her test.
that's amazing.
Yeah, let me know how I did. I'd like some feedback.
Yeah, absolutely. So what I do, and that's the beauty of it, you don't have to create your own ideas. So the thing with reels, you can get stuck down these rabbit holes, right? So I'll set a timer. I'm like, okay, 5 minutes. Because if you think about it, if reels are only 15 to 30 seconds long, you can look through a lot of reels in 5 minutes, right? So I start scrolling through, and anything that I think that I could repurpose and turn into something or recreate my own, I save it. And that's what I do. And I just make it my own. I never copy anything 100%. I always change the words, do whatever, but some of the sound bites and stuff, we're all mimicking the same words, so a lot of the content and stuff is going to be the same, but your captions are going to be different. And if you look through my stuff, most of my content and my captions are pretty much, there's a lot of redundancy, but I've just changed the words around, So I think that as far as coming up with ideas, you just need to start scrolling through and looking for ideas, but don't get caught down the rabbit hole. When I first started doing reels, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's 1 o'clock in the morning and I haven't done anything productive. And that's the last thing we want you to do on social media, is get stuck in the endless scroll and not actually do anything that's benefiting you or your team, So, and also what I say too is go follow people. It doesn't even have to be people within Q. Go follow other influencers who, when you're in social media and you're scrolling, what is getting you to stop your scroll? Because that's what you need to recreate, And that's the thing. Social media is just a big mimic game, if we're honest, right? A lot of us are just kind of recreating a lot of other people's stuff. It's amazing. And again, I don't ever encourage people to copy things 100%. If I really, really love somebody's reels, like Ashley Garcia today, I shared one of her reels onto my story and I tagged her, and then I put a caption underneath it, so you can use other people's reels and their content to help you build storylines as well, so.
Awesome, Katie. Awesome. Anybody else? Anybody else? You can unmute yourself if you have any questions. There was one question here, Katie, in the comments, if we can, it says, can you show how to save to a folder? But is that a little bit?
So basically once you're in a reel, there's those 3 little dots on the bottom right.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to hit save. And if you don't have a folder, it'll ask you. Otherwise, if you go to your main profile and you go up to this top 3 lines on the top right, that's where you're going to find what you actually saved, because that's where your saved folder is. And this is where the top right hand corner, the plus sign, that's how you create all the different folders.
Wow,
so,
guys.
I YouTube all this stuff. When I first started doing reels, I didn't know how to do any of it. And people will message me now, they'll be like, how do I adjust timing, how do I adjust this? I know I was like, and Summer's like one of my best friends. I'm like, YouTube it. It's so much easier for you to go on YouTube and watch it and be visual than me try to explain it to you. You guys, everything is on YouTube. It's just, it's a lot easier that way.
Yeah.
I have a question. I have a question. Hope I didn't miss the answer to this. I'm a real estate agent, so my phone is blowing up in my ear at this very moment. So my question is this. Okay, I saw the little the pictures you put on there, and I like the one that was showing like, do you want to try, or the one, I can't remember exactly what it said. My question is this. Okay, I'm the guy. I see your ad. I'm like, great. I text you back, say, man, Katie, what are you doing? What are you talking about? How do we handle that?
So how do I then
I'd like to
respond?
know.
How do then I respond to you?
Yeah, how would you respond to me? I'm putting you on the spot.
Yeah, I would start asking you some questions, like what was it that sparked your interest? And if I'm honest, typically before I even respond to people, I go and I look at their face, or I look at their profile.
Yeah, you stalk them a little bit.
I do. And that's why I always encourage my people to make sure your profile's clean, because I stalk people. So what makes me think people aren't stalking me a little bit? It just is common sense. So once I looked at their profile a little bit, I asked them a little bit about them. What was it that sparked your interest? Have you ever done this industry before? Would you be interested in, depending on the feedback that they give me, we have our live QIQs, or we have recordings. I am a huge advocate of matching up personalities. I don't blindly invite somebody just to whatever call it is that night. So like, for example, for you, if you were to have messaged me, I probably would send you a men's call, if I'm honest, as opposed to if it was a stay-at-home mom speaking that night. I'm very much a connector of industry, background, that kind of stuff. I'm not afraid to send recordings.
Gotcha.
That's just how I do it.
Okay. Well, I was just kind of curious about that, is how we take all this and convert it to dollar signs and helping people. That's what it's all about.
Oh, absolutely. And that's what it is all about. And that's why still having those conversations and making sure that people truly are interested, because I'm not going to lie, there's a lot of people that come in through social media that truly aren't who we're looking for. Is that a nice way to say it? So having those conversations, I'm seeing a lot of heads nodding, so thank you. Having those conversations is very important to qualify people. And don't feel bad about it. This is your business. You need to protect your business, and you need to protect your team and who you're bringing in.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for asking questions. Anybody else? Because every question here is helping, like everybody on this call. Don't be afraid. You
I have a question.
Yes.
Any chance you might do some training on Reels?
I know. Well, and honestly, so
there's so much. I just followed you and I'm looking and I'm like, oh, that's good. And I'm already starting to go down that rabbit hole. And I'm like, oh, I know how to save it because I just started doing Reels.
Yeah.
But there's so many different there's so much things you can do to be creative. And I find it takes so much time to try to create one. I need to get faster.
And I'm not going to lie, when I first started, it was such a time suck. And I'm saying it with a smile because it has done wonders for my business. But now I can create a reel from start to finish in like 5 minutes and be done with it. So just know you just have to push through it and learn it and learn where the things are and how to do everything. Because once you get through it, you learn it, you can bust them out really quick. And that's why I save reels and I save examples, because once I already have them saved, then I can go through and I can create them really quick, and I batch my content. 1 or 2 days a week, I'll create 2 or 3 videos that day. And then I can just kind of push them out throughout the week.
That's a good idea. Okay.
So Stacy, to give you an idea of what I just started learning how to do reels myself. And I decided Monday I was done, because I talked to Fran and she's like, this is what helped my business. I talked to Katie, that reels is what helped my I'm like, I am done. This is stupid. What am I doing? So I spent 3.5 hours Monday morning, did my hair. The day you do your hair, I changed my shirt 6
And you're
times,
looking all good. Yep.
different earrings, different shirts, and I did 6 reels, and in between trying to figure out how to put the stuff on the reel, all the like verbiage.
yeah.
I YouTubed it. Katie said YouTube it because it's easier than me explaining it to you. I YouTubed it. Was very simple once I learned. But it did take me 3.5 hours to do 6 of them, but now I've saved them. So I'm going to now push. I've put out 2 this week so far.
Okay.
And
I'll
I
have
will,
to look.
and I will tell you, don't think you need to do start to finish all of them. Like if I have one that I know that I want to do and it's a voiceover, I'll just do the voiceover. I won't write the caption and do all that kind of stuff. It's too much for my brain to handle, to think I need to do the video, do all of the words, write the caption, figure out all the hashtags. It's too much for me. But if I can record 2 or 3 videos, and then the night before I'm going to put it out, then I write the caption, I kind of break it up.
Right.
So but some
Okay.
people love to do it all at once, so it's done. You kind of just have to figure out what works for you.
Awesome.
And
All right.
is
Katie,
there a
one more
trick?
question. Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry. Is there
No,
a
go ahead.
trick when you do one on Instagram, a reel, and how do you like copy that and put it on Facebook?
So
Because when I try to share it, it shows it as a link.
yeah, so some people have the feature already to share it to Facebook. Not everybody has been given that feature yet. So
Okay.
now in your Facebook, under your status, like if you were going to post a Facebook status, there's an actual Reels button, and you click that Reel button, and you just upload the video there, and it'll post it as a Reel onto Facebook.
Okay.
Ah,
So, but the thing is, you have to post it to Instagram, then you pull it up against 3 dots, then you save to camera roll. Now it's on your camera roll. Then you go into Facebook under the where you make a post. There's a little
Okay.
reel.
I've done that, but it doesn't save the audio.
So some of them there's copyright issues, and so it won't do it.
Okay.
But you have to wait until you've actually already posted it, and don't hit the save button, hit the save to camera roll. But it's again after you've already fully uploaded it to Instagram.
Okay.
Mhm.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
awesome. Okay, last question, and then we're gonna let Katie go because she's a family here. Somebody just said something here. What was it? Oh, what's a clean profile to you? Like, what should we be aware of our profiles? Like, I think.
So yeah, so I don't like, I see a lot of people like sharing recipes and sharing certain things like that, when I'm like, you could save those things to folders, right? So I think a clean profile is more just, again, your pillars. What are things that you are sharing that you're adding value to your network? Are you educating? Are you entertaining? Are you, those type of things? And it's not just like a bunch of things that you're sharing of randomness that you found while you're scrolling through Facebook,
Perfect. All right, y'all. Thank you, Katie. You're amazing. We love you, and thank you so much for spending your time with us. I feel very special. So thank you so much for doing this for us and for our team. And you guys have an awesome night. And thanks for coming, guys.
Thank you.
All right, bye.